Hello roofer. You probably already watched our lessons on marking in a double rectangular slating. Now let's get acquainted with the Old German slating. This is an ancient European technique that came to us from the distant Middle Ages. It has changed a lot along the way, but still it has reached our times. You must understand that what is now called the word Old German slating is very little like what it was in the beginning. Look, this is a fragment of slate from the roof of the medieval castle Burg Mildenstein. There are no these smoothly rounded scales, with a smooth semicircular Ryukan line. But there is a principle by which these almost wildly cut stones are stacked. Therefore, the original Old German slating is more like wild slating, but with a special laying principle. Here you can trace the sloping lines of the rows, and the principle by which these rows begin and end. We will begin to study this principle here with you. The original appearance strongly depends on the method of work itself and on the material with which they worked then. The extraction of slate was artisanal, the processing of slate was completely manual, and not because it was cool, but because there was no other way. Now it is considered a luxury, and many people who appreciate originality are happy to buy it, just try to offer it. As you might guess, in principle there is no marking in the original Old German slating, but let's now mark the roof together, under the modern interpretation of the Old German slating. In the Old German slating, a change in the scale of slate can be traced. At the foot, the roofers used large stones, and when the large ones ended, they used smaller and smaller formats. Therefore, in our markup, we must also follow this trend and reduce the rows. This change can be arbitrary, this technique is good, a lot of things can be attributed to old-fashioned sloppiness. Let's see what it looks like. So, first we must determine the angle of inclination of these rows. To do this, we take a cord, tie it to the tip of a pencil and draw a circle of arbitrary radius. From this angle, we draw the angle of the roof. And from the intersection of the corner of the roof and the circle, we mark a horizontal line and a vertical line. Now we connect this point with a straight line. This is our first slanted line. Now from here we mark up. These will be our highest rows on the roof. Now we also mark up, gradually reducing the height by 1 centimeter every 2 to 3 rows. Now I'll show you how the rows change in numbers. We usually start at 18 centimeters or 7 inches. And end at 10 centimeters or 4 inches. I write in centimeters and speak in inches, okay? So, 6.7 inches, another 6.7, now 2 times 6.3 inches. Now 5.9 inches, now 5.5 inches. Now 5.1 inches. Now 4.7 inches. 3 times 4.3 inches. And finally 4 inches. And here is 4 inches. I want to warn you, there is a trap here. You will make the first half of the roof quickly, but in the second half, the speed of covering will noticeably decrease. If you make the lower half in 2 days, for example, then the upper half will take 4 to 5 days. Consider this in your planning. In the next video, we will cover this surface with slate, and you will clearly see how this still empty surface will come to life and be filled with the spirit of ancient European craft. To watch the next video, follow the link below.